So, after two fantastic Rocky films, what is next on the agenda? Okay, I see what you're doing, but what does it actually mean? God, I need friends. Rocky 3 is the third installment in the Rocky franchise, obviously. Released in 1982, that's my chair, it didn't get as a positive reception as the first two. It could even be considered the black sheep, but the black sheep of the franchise would change in only 3 to 8 years. It was considered the black sheep when it first came out. Didn't get as much of a positive reception as the first two. It changed the tone from serious and realistic to over-the-top goofy. However, this is still considered a middle ground in between the first two and the batch craziness that is the fourth film, which, oh boy, we will get to. This film still has serious moments and sort of captures the tone of the first two. A lot better than another film that we'll get to, but not by much. Also, spoilers for the film. So, without further ado, let's talk about Rocky 3. So, the film follows Rocky, once again, played by Stallone, who is bigger than ever, fighting many fighters and becoming the most popular heavyweight champion in the world, even doing charity fights against wrestlers like Thunderlips, played by Hulk Hogan for some reason. However, a new challenger approaches, Clubber Lang, played by Mr. T for some reason. Rocky tries to fight him, but it ends in disaster. In order to regain his title as heavyweight champion, he must join forces with his former opponent, Apollo Creed, played once again by Carl Weathers, who will train Rocky to become a better fighter than he already is. Along with that, for the first time, Rocky must confront the fact that he's afraid, as he now has something to lose if he loses the match, and it ends in an even bigger disaster. You'd think that with a plot like that, this would be the most emotionally powerful film in the franchise. However, you forgot to mention the fact that I mentioned a character named Thunderlips. Yes, so as I mentioned, this is the first film in the franchise to change the tone from serious sports drama to goofy comedy with occasional dramatic moments. Even though it still calls itself a sports drama on Wikipedia, trust me, it's only barely that for like the second half. The first half is just all goofy, funny, wee. Like, he fights Hulk Hogan. I know he's called Thunderlips, but screw it, I'm calling him Hulk Hogan. However, I would say that the fourth movie is definitely the most over the top, but it isn't the goofiest. There is a difference between the two. I know that talking about the difference between goofy and over the top is really depressing, but hear me out, alright? I'm fine. The entire fight with Hulk Hogan is already enough, but, like, there's also the fact that he's fighting Mr. T, and there's also the fact that he does training in a big place, and like in front of tons of people, with Eye of the Tiger playing in the background. In fact, the whole Eye of the Tiger song, like, this series has a theme song. I mean, already has a theme song, but now has a song made for it. That's played 3 times in the whole film. Like, the fourth film is over the top, but it isn't goofy, as goofy as this. But even though it has all these goofy things, this is definitely the darkest in the whole series. Not counting the Creed films, because they're a different thing entirely. Rocky loses the fight for the first time, and, spoilers, Mickey, played once again by Burgess Meredith, dies from a heart attack. Like, hold on, what the hell? Way to throw us into that plot point after half an hour of, like, goofy fun. Like, this is not fun. This is, like, Jesus. Like, there's a good, better way to combine two really good, really different tones and mesh them together. And this is not the way to do that. I haven't mentioned this before, but I don't like Pirates 3. One of the main criticisms I have with it is the drastic tone change. If the second film leaned into the more serious tone, then it would be easier to get into. Also, if the film wasn't 3 hours long and the story wasn't completely overcomplicated, then it would be better. But we're not going to get into that right now. This film is sort of the opposite. It leans into the goofier tone than the fourth film covers itself in, when we'll get to that. But whereas with Pirates, the combination of goofy pirate fun and darker tone would make a bit more sense. With this, the sudden tone change halfway through is more jarring than good. Also, Unlike the fourth film, the goofy stuff doesn't affect the story, and is therefore just more kind of weird than fun. I mean, the fourth film has a big goofy thing that it does no effect on the story whatsoever. But like I said, we'll get to that. Aside from that weird tone drasticness, the film is still great. The dramatic moments are still very strong. Stallone's acting during Mickey's death scene is absolutely amazing. How did he do this and First Blood in the same year? I just don't understand. Why is he actually good? I mean, obviously we know that. He got an Academy Award nomination. 2 Academy Award nominations. Both for Rocky. That's great. Also Polly, played once again by Burr Young. Actually shedding tears at Mickey's death was amazing. That's acting. The editing and cinematography is still as great as usual. The fight scenes are well choreographed. Rocky isn't hit in the head 500 times this time, which is good. Makes it a bit more realistic. And I love to use the term realistic in a film where he fights Hulk Hogan in the first 20 minutes. Like, that's just great. Or the first 10 minutes. Early in the film is what I'm trying to get at. What else? The music is as classic as usual, and the characters are so likable. In fact, Rocky's character arc throughout the movie is great, because he's been winning many fights and never lost. Ego got to him. When I was younger, I used to think that Rocky lost the first fight with Clubber Lang because Mickey wasn't there. But it was because he was training in front of all these people and it was distracting him. After losing the fight and Mickey, which he does, he realizes that he needs to change his tone and actually focus on training and winning. As if he goes into this again, he might lose everything this time, which, like I said, scares Rocky for the very first time. We never seen him scared before, but with this, he is petrified of losing everything, because he now has wife, money, a kid. He could lose it all if he goes into this winging it, which you should never do that in boxing. I wouldn't know. I don't box. I'm very weak. It's amazing. The whole character arc that he goes through is amazing, and the best arc he goes through in the franchise. Clubber Lang is also a great villain. He's a lot more abrasive than Creed ever was. That's why I think he's a great villain. After seeing how abrasive Creed was in the second film, that's saying a lot, because Clubber Lang is just crazy. But it's also very funny that he never smiles throughout the entire film. Like, there's only one scene where he smiles, and it's when he's trying to invite Adrian over to his house. Right, yeah, great. Great job at making me hate the main villain of the film. That's good. Obviously, he's not as down-to-earth as Apollo or even Drago, which we will later learn in Creed 2. But he's still a very good villain. And yeah, this is a great film. I know this wasn't a very joke-filled review, but I just needed to talk about this film in the best detail I could, as it has always perplexed me, and other people. I usually don't make as many jokes when I'm positive, as you probably know with other reviews that I've done of things I like. But when it comes to negative stuff, it's a laugh riot. I'm doing air quotes. Laugh riot. But maybe the fact that I don't have any jokes to make is a good thing. Because this film is a great film. Although the tone discrepancy can be a problem, and the goofy tone that doesn't affect anything and just feels more out of place. Rocky IV feels perfectly in place, but with this it just kind of feels off. However, this doesn't affect the film by much. The characters, music, editing, fight scenes, and cinematography is still all great, as per usual with this franchise. I give it an 8 out of 10. Next episode, we're looking at the most divisive film in the franchise. Some love it, some hate it, and some are in the middle. It's the one, the only, Rocky IV! However, I must give you at least one really good joke this whole review. Here it is. Yeah, this is the best joke I could find. It's very bad, but it works. It works just well. God, I really need friends.